This is Dabu 7. You're looking at Bahrain Petroleum, Bapco, burning, Iranian missiles hitting it, drones hitting it as well. Even though the air defenses shot down many, all it took was a couple to get through, and they've done major damage. We have missiles now raining down in many different places. Emergency alerts being sent out across Dubai. Sirens going out across United Arab Emirates. Bahrain, as you can see here. Saudi Arabia stating that their capital is under direct Iranian missile attack, and they're going to start firing back as well. We are on the cusp of major world war here. Azerbaijan stepping into the mix, and Dubai, all of them saying missiles are raining down in their areas to seek shelter right now. Emergency alerts being put out. So they're firing these missiles in all directions, in all these different countries around Iran are feeling the brunt of this. We've seen this before, but this time they're unleashing a new wave, and they're calling for Trump's blood. After the U.S. took down a warship and sunk it, now they're calling for Trump's blood, and the U.S. and Israel are letting it out of the bag how they set this whole thing up to kill Khomeini. They're saying that they put out false information, acting like they were going to go to a religious dinner, and they stuck back to their headquarters. That is when Khomeini came out, went up to his palace for a meeting, and they hit him with a state-of-the-art missile that goes up into space and comes straight down on the target. And it obliterated all of them at that point. So they're calling for an overthrow of the regime. The CIA is openly admitting they're trying to get Kurds and other groups involved on the ground for chaos, and they're trying to stir up civil war on the ground in Iran. So in the meantime, Iran is going through these missiles that they've got. They've got a bunch, and they're being fed by Russia and China as well on the back end. They've got drones for days. You see any headlines trying to state that they're being depleted and all this, that's garbage. That is propaganda to the fullest, and you need to realize it when you see it. We, the United States, have been openly admitting for months now that we are weak in the Department of Weapons because of Ukraine. But Iran has a stockpile for days, and as they said, they're just going through the low-grade stuff. And going through the low-grade stuff is causing us to use our ammunitions to shoot them down. By the time they get to the big dogs, we're not going to have as much as we had in the beginning, that is for sure, at this point. Just wait till the high-grade hypersonics get rolled out. You haven't even seen them yet. They can't even stop the hypersonics that they're shooting right now, and they admit this. So if they shoot one at an aircraft carrier, they have no way to stop it. The only mechanism that's been talked about out there is potential laser weapons, and we've seen Israel on camera displaying that. And isn't it interesting that a retired general that dealt with DEW's direct energy weapons goes missing? Still missing. This is crazy. I'll update with all this on the next live stream. Join me going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. A lot going on. Stay safe. Head on a swivel.
Shalom, 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 giving all the praises, honor, and infinite glory to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA QADASH. Double honors to the beloved apostles, the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and who I learn from daily. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect, scattered across the four corners of the earth. You Israelite foreigners like unto a speckled bird. Shalom to you, sincere Akim on the highways and byways, doing lessons and videos week in and week out in truth and sincerity. Shalom to you, sincere Akwath, who's listening in silence as the scriptures command you to do so. This is your brother Isaiah Allah coming to you with another lesson through the spirit and power of YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, Lord willing. I pray this is edifying to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians are the biblical Hebrew Israelites of the Bible. The name of your God, your power, his name is YAHAWAH. Yah meaning he, Hawa meaning is he exists. BAHASHAM is coming in the name, and who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. His true name in the Hebrew is YAHAWASHI. Yah meaning he, Hawashai meaning savior or deliverer. Giving all praises, all honor, and all infinite glory. And so just doing a report on this through the spirit, brothers and sisters, prophecy is speaking. That's why I wanted to play Dabu 7 at the beginning. As you can see that the order is being given out for the people, of course, in Dubai. We know what's happening. Azerbaijan, Salakia, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia. There's missiles flying all over the place. All right. So this war is not going to stop. Okay. There may be, little spurts of, a little bit of peace, but we know what the scriptures say and pertaining to that. All right. And when they shall say peace and safety, you know what, let's just get it. That sudden destruction is going to come. And so this war we're in World War III. We'll just say it plain and simple. We're in World War III, but it's not at the apex of it yet, through the spirit, because we understand that the implementation of the MOTB has to happen, man. But these nations are not stopping, man. Y'all done America is biting more than they can chew. And the scriptures say that, man, because of their pride. All right. The king of Babylon, he's on a rampage right now. And, they're trying to control the narrative. They're pushing out lies and propaganda, trying to say they're winning. And we know it's all BS, man. All right. Because the Lord, Yahweh, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI is turning the Ishmael, the dragons of Arabia, back into a wild man. And they're not even at that point yet, but they're not stopping. They said they've been preparing for this. All right. They've been preparing for this for years. And now we're at the point through the spirit and power of Yahweh, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. This is 1 Thessalonians 5 and beginning at verse 1. The times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, all right, which they're probably going to end up doing, just like it might be just, for a small moment, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So we know through the spirit that like they met, America, Babylon the Great, and the state of Israel want a ceasefire, but they're not like Iran is like, no, we don't want no people. We don't want no ceasefire. We don't want no more talks, because they've been betrayed by these devils for so long, man. All right. Now something's going to happen to where Babylon the Great, all right, Nero is going to do something that's going to cause all hell to break loose, man. And we're already waiting for it. We're inching closer and closer. All right. And that's why this is what we're waiting for, because it's going to creep upon these people, these Babylonians, unawares, because they're not looking for these prophecies. They don't understand what's happening. All right. That Yahweh, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI is mustering these nations up to the battle. All right. Against these devils, man. And this is why these missiles barrages are not going to stop. They're not going to stop, man. All right. Let me see. This is Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 4. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of of nations gathered together. This is what Yahweh, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI is doing right now. He's gathering these nations for battle. Joel chapter 3. All right. Prepare ye war. All right. Wake up the mighty men. Let the weak say, I am strong. So now these nations, all right, Iran, and then eventually Russia's going to get involved, which is Ezekiel 38, man. Russia's going to be a guard to them. That then is going to be, it's going to be spicy, because the bear is going to get busy, man. All right. As well as with China, North Korea, so on and so forth. The Lord of hosts, Yahweh, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, mustereth the host of the battle. And this is what he's doing. He's mustering up these nations. He's stirring them up for war. Okay. All right. And this is what Iran's doing. Iran, as you heard Dabu 7 say, they haven't even got to their more advanced supersonic missiles, man. They haven't even started using that. They're using their old stockpiles right now. Okay. And the leaders are talking about once they transition to their new stockpiles, that you haven't seen nothing yet, man. You haven't seen nothing yet. And that's all prophecy right now. Okay. So we're in some beautiful times right now. So let's read this article. This is on End Time Headlines. Iran launched a new wave of attacks on Thursday, with explosions reported in the region, which is, of course, today. And Tehran threatening that the U.S. would bitterly regret sinking an Iranian warship. Iran's strikes on Thursdays targeted Israel, American bases, and countries in the region. Israel announced multiple incoming missile attacks as air raid sirens blared in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. All right, and they are running scared right now. Them small hats are terrified, okay? Terrified. Because they weren't expecting this. They were expecting that Iran would just, buck up, bend over, and take it. But no. Right? Like I said earlier through the Spirit, they've been planning this for years because they knew what was eventually going to come. And now the YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI is putting the Spirit back on them. Okay? Azerbaijan's Ministry of Defense on Thursday said Iran used unmanned area vehicles, UAVs, in an attack on Nakhchivan International Airport and other civilian infrastructure. The ministry said the details of the attack and the capabilities of the UAVs were being investigated. The Ministry of Defense of the Republic of Azerbaijan strongly condemns the attacks carried out by the armed forces of the Islamic Republic of Iran against civilian infrastructure on the territory of Azerbaijan in the absence of any military necessity. The Islamic Republic of Iran bears the entire responsibility for the incident, the ministry's statement reads. Iran has not acknowledged targeting Azerbaijan, despite the country's Ministry of Defense pointing the finger at Tehran. So they're just going crazy, man. As you saw in the video, they're just shooting. Let me turn this down. Look at this. And this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning because we know what the prophecy said. We're going to read it in just a moment, Lord willing. And you see, look at these people. They're just, and this is the mindset of a majority of people across the planet, man. This is what the Babylon juice has done. But of course, it's beautiful because we wouldn't be able to get visuals of everything that's happening without these many Urim and Thummins, man. And so they're just filming everything, but soon it's gonna be non-stop missile barrages, man. Non-stop missile barrages, and it's gonna eventually hit here in America, okay? And they're already talking about that, of the sleeper cells being activated. They're just waiting. We're just waiting for some form of a black swan event to take place. All right, rereading this again. The Ministry of Defense of the Republic of Azerbaijan strongly condemns the attacks carried out by the armed forces of the Islamic Republic of Iran against civilian infrastructure on the territory of Azerbaijan in the absence of any military necessity. The Islamic Republic of Iran bears the entire responsibility for the incident, the ministry's statement read. Iran has not acknowledged targeting Azerbaijan, despite the country's Ministry of Defense pointing the finger at Tehran. Qatar evacuated residents near the U.S. Embassy in Doha on Thursday, with its Ministry of Defense confirming that the country was subjected to a missile attack and that its air defense systems were able to intercept it, and the ministry urged the Republic to remain calm and avoid unofficial information. Okay, so this war is not going to stop. It's not going to stop. All right, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. But YAHAWASHI even told us, all right, let's get that real quick before we get to the prophecy, that these are the beginning of sorrows, and that these are the wars and rumors of wars. All right, like I stated through the Spirit, we're in World War III, but we're not going to get to that apex yet. Okay, this is Matthew 24 and verse 6 to get straight to the point. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. It says something similar in Mark the 13th chapter, as well as Luke chapter 21. All right, these are the wars and rumors of wars. This is the beginning stages of the Third World War. Verse 7: For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. And we're even seeing that right now. There was actually another earthquake, real quick. A 4.9 earthquake strikes Louisiana, the second largest quake in state history. And so we're in the times, Laura, where we're seeing more earthquakes, more rumors of wars. All these things are increasing. Pestilences, right? Sicknesses in diverse places. And YAHAWASHI said, all these are the beginning of sorrow. So this is only the beginning, brothers and sisters. This is going to get worse. These are birth pains, all right? Up to the Third World War, to the apex of it, okay? And these scriptures are speaking loud and clear. And Iran is not going to stop, because this is the will of Yahweh BaHaShem YAHAWASHI. So let's go here. This is, I think it's believe in verse 29. Second Esdras, chapter 15. Let me zoom in a little bit. So you can see, beginning at verse 29. Let's see. Yeah, we'll begin at verse 28. Salakia. Behold, a horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east. And this is talking about Ishmael, man. All right. The dragons of Arabia. All right. The Carmanians, Iran. All right. The Persians. All right. And this is over there in the Middle East. And this is this horrible vision that Ezra is speaking about. Verse 29, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, many weaponry. And that's what Dabu 7 was referring to. And this is what they're talking about, man. Their vehicles. And they were all supplied from Russia and China, man. This is where they're getting their advanced weaponry, or so on and so forth. So if they're receiving their weaponry from Russia and China, just wait until Russia the bear gets involved, man. When Ezekiel 38 comes to play, when he's going to be a guard. That's when this is going to be all hell, holy hell, man. And the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. And that's what's going to happen, man. All right. The king of Babylon is going to hear the report once he sees that he bit more than he can chew. And this is through the spirit of the Lord, man. YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. Verse 30. Also the Carmanians, which is Iran, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars, all right, of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. So you got the Ishmael, all right. He's going to be turned back into that wild man, all right. The Carmanians, Persia, all right. This is what's about to happen right now, all right. And they're going to be allied with Russia, all right, which is the modern day Assyrians is America. So we're in this time right now. We're in this time, man. All right. And I went through in another lesson. All right. You can go check it out through the spirit, but a boar, through the spirit, comparing them going as with wrath as a wild boar, because a boar has a very good memory. And this is what's about to happen right now. They're remembering everything that you devils did to them. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand. All right. Remembering their nature. All right. That goes back to Genesis 16 and 12, man. Ishmael is a wild man. And right now, the Lord hasn't turned their spirit up to that yet. It's increasing. It's gradualism through the spirit. And if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. All right. And this is what's coming, man. This is what's coming. All right. This war, everything is inching up more and more. Missiles flying everywhere. We're in this time through the spirit and power of YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. And it's not going to stop, man. All right. It's not going to stop. And it's going to eventually transition. We're like in Ezekiel 38, and it's speaking more and more now. All right. Where Russia is going to get involved. And that's when terror is going to be upon these devils, man. All right. Nobody is afraid of America, Babylon the Great no more, man. Nobody is scared of you. All right. We'll end it off with this one here. Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? And this is what's going to end up happening, man. All right. Eventually, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI is going to open up his armory. All right. Them ICBMs. And it's going to completely annihilate Babylon the Great America, man. Completely destroy y'all. But the Lord is going to, the Lord loves a show. Right now, he's breaking you. He's breaking you. And he's going to use the nations to do it, man. All right. The head of it being Russia. Okay. The modern day Medes. All right. And you were the hammer of the earth. But now, you're like, as the scriptures say, how art thou become as weak as I? All right. In Isaiah chapter, the 14th chapter. All right. And this is what's going on with you devils. You're becoming weak. And so now you're becoming broken spiritually, physically, mentally, on all sides, man. All right. Well, you know what? We'll just end it off with this here. Where is it at? Yeah. Isaiah 14 and 10. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? And this is what's happening right now. The more and more each day goes on, the Lord is making these devils weaker and weaker. But of course, they're pushing for propaganda to try to make it seem like they're winning. No, it's bullshit. They're getting annihilated. And now we're in that time right now. All right. America, Babylon the Great is finished. And this is going to be an ass whooping of epic proportions. And so I pray you were edified in the spirit, brothers and sisters, giving all the praises, honor, and infinite glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA, double honors to the beloved apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, Shalom to the hopeful elect.